Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Tengoku Struggle, continuing / finishing up Goemon's route. We're going to put it in a nice big bow. We got our happy ending last time. To be fair, between the one part and last part, we could have actually made it a whole additional part, because one was 20 minutes over, that one was like 30 or 40, like, that was a whole hour worth that we could have done, and, you know, I'm just saying, if this goes a little bit longer, I'm just saying, if this part, if we finish up all those little side pieces, and then next part is our voice acting, it's going to end at part, like, what, 79? And that's going to drive me bonkers, because that's not going to a nice round number, and 80 would have been perfect. And then I'll be more mad that we had two parts that went nearly halfway over. Damn it! But, you know, but also, even 81, I would have been like, it's okay, because having an extra part as a buffer would be nice. Because if you're watching these as they go up, you know we are trying to fill the void once this ends. We're doing a shorter game, well, based on Otome Kitten's estimate that it took her to do, to just kind of fill the void between when this ends and when I think November is Virtue Fan Disc. That's what we're trying to do. So, like, although, to be fair, it's like, okay, she estimated, like, 45 hours, I think, 35 to 45 hours. And me, I'm usually like, okay, it's going to be like 55, maybe 60. It might be longer, because, you know, we ramble. So, but I also need a buffer. I can't just finish right in time for that game. I need a week or two buffer to give me time to finish the game, to start the next, and then not be like, it's 2 days after the game came out, and then I got to try to record like a bunch within 2. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we want it to go. We want to overlap. We want to overlap it, not right up to, you know? But anyway, we're going to get Goemon's bad ending. So this is only a little bit. I forget what he asked us. Only a little bit. Maybe now's a good time. I'll ask him. Would you mind making more ninja stars? Tama really loves them. And okay, so we'll just let this skip through and I'm just going to let it go until we get our ending and whatnot. I'm going to assume, just like every other bad ending in the game. Holy shit. I mean, I heard it thunder. Well, we're going to find out once again if they fixed the roof. Yeah. Because it's now downpouring. I heard thunder like a few minutes ago before I came upstairs. And then now I'm like, holy shit, what's that noise? I can hear it pouring. Hopefully, like, okay, it's just going to freak me out for like probably a week or more every time it rains. You know what I mean? It's like oh God. But it rained really badly. Like, I mean, the thunderstorm was fucking bad. Bad. Right? Like last week sometime, like a couple of days ago. And I was like, fuck. And he came, it was like a couple days after he got here. Well, he came Wednesday, and it is now Sunday. So he's only been 4 days. But it was like Thursday or Friday. Well, it must have been Thursday, because I don't think it was Friday. Wait, was that the week before? Was that last week? Wait, no. Wow, it like rained like the next day or something. Like it poured, like thunder so bad. You were like, holy shit, the thunder was loud. The storm was right on top. It was like, they said it was like a slow moving storm. It was basically stationary. And like, so then it was like really windy, and we were getting warnings, not like, oh, it's a thunderstorm warning, but like winds and everything. So I was like, that's when I would have figured more would have happened than this. Cause like right now it's dreary. There was thunder. And it's pouring, but it's not as bad as that with, you know, supposedly the wind and whatnot. So I was watching okay, I clicked the button game, Jesus. I was watching the roof, like, but I'm paranoid, so every time I would look, I'm like, oh my God, wait, is there a wet spot inside the wet spot? Because, you know, like, it's dry, but there's still a stain there, you know? So you're not going to know, technically. Yes, you would, because if it starts getting wet again, you'd notice it getting darker in the center, and it would look like Oh, I trusted you! Oh. Sorry, Kamara was on screen. So you'd notice it. So, but like, because it's kind of dim up here, I don't have lights on because I don't need them, right? I can see the wet stain, but then I always think I see like shadows within it. Cause like, if you've ever had a water stain before, like the center ends up being lighter colored and then the ring around the edge is darker. But if water was still pouring through, then where the center is, where the water started coming, it would be darker and then it would slowly spread out again. You know what I mean? So it's not the dark ring. I feel like I see in the center a darker spot and I'm always like, and then I'm like, okay, it's just my eyes playing tricks on me. It's never there. And I have my little step ladder up here so that I can kind of get up there and feel, and it's always bone dry. And like, so I'm like, I'm sure he fixed it and that's exactly where the little hole was coming from and whatnot. But it is one of those like, but who knows? Maybe it's just a little bit of water and it's going to take a while to seep through and it's going to, you know what I mean? If that wasn't where the hole was, I don't know. Um, so I'm sure it was, I wish like I should have asked him, like, did you actually, cause he patched around it. So I should have asked, did you actually see a hole when you were up there? Or you just, cause I don't know if he was just like, I figure that's probably where it's coming from. That was the assumption. He couldn't tell from in the attic, but we don't know. Like, I didn't ask him when he was like, oh, okay, you're all set. And then he was done. Cause obviously he was probably rushing off to his next job because he was behind getting here. So he was probably behind getting to another, you know what I mean? They're going to do it kind of as fast as they can. So I didn't ask like, oh, did you actually see a hole when you were patching it or did you just patch it up assuming? You know what I mean? So, but now there's a mild paranoia every time it fucking rains that like there's going to be something. It's going to take a little while to ease out of me. Oh God, maybe by October we'll be good and I'll be like, yeah, it's fine. And then, it'll start leaking again. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Like I'm assuming it was probably because it does get very windy here and this place was built 2018 or 2019. So, I mean, it's like 6 to 7 years old. I mean, that's not bad. Like, your roof shouldn't have a hole, but with wind and storms and like hail or whatever, and all it takes is like, one little shingle to come loose in a windstorm or something. You know what I mean? So, you know, so if he just, whatever, so. Or if I mean, I wouldn't say, oh, the builders didn't do a good job building, because, you would have had the water leaking long before now, but also they don't make shit like they really don't, because from what I understand, like my heater, one of the coils or something in it broke, but the hot water heater had also broken before I moved in, like to the last people. And I'm like, this place isn't that old that a hot water heater should break within a few years of it being like, it's not like, oh, this place is 20 years old, so okay. Like, it's like the place was only a few years old and the hot water heater broke. Because I've been here for I'm on my 3rd year. So like, the hot water heater breaking after like 3 or 4 years is kind of fucking bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? Anyway. What to do? I want to see your face suffering in pain as you watch Goemon die, but I also want to see Goemon suffer as he watches you get killed. Guess I can have my cake and eat it too, huh? That's what you get. I was trying to tuck the cord under my pillow and under my leg, and I booped your tail with it. And you got all startled, but that's what you get, buttface. Don't chew my cords. Hey, Goemon, which do you prefer? Shinoku, stop already. Alrighty then. You'll go first. Spacey! I mean, this is similar, but it stopped skipping, so I assume it's different. I can't see. I can't hear. My fingers, hands, legs. I can't feel any part of my body. Did I die? She's still breathing. Shinoku, you ran from us. Don't play the victim, Goemon. You broke the rules of the ninja. No, You did. I'll never believe that the elders let you go. Shinoku, You knew about that too? Shut up. Ugh! A deserter has no place pretending to be a hero. What happened to me? What happened to Goemon? We're gonna find each other in our next life. I'm glad if this is just how it is, like Shiroku kills us, it just leaves it as that and don't make it worse. Am I going to disappear? You can barely talk anymore, Goemon. Once I get rid of all of you, I'm gonna go kill Enma. It's about time we say goodbye. No. Later, my dear little brother. Okay, this is where we died. Oh no! This is a traumatic last CG. Goemon? It wasn't as if I could hear his voice. It wasn't as if I could see his face. I don't like this. Oh. But something so precious to me vanished right in front of me. That much I knew. No. We went through so much. We were finally reunited, and you hate that, like, you get to this point in the bad ends where you're all dying, and you're like, no, it's okay though, we're going to be reborn, and our souls are going to find each other, so it's really not as bad of a bad end as it could be, you know what I mean? I tried to reach my fingers to him, but my body... No. I don't want to be forced to miss you. What should I do? No. No, I can't never see you again. I can't. Everyone else would be worried, too. I hate the fact that the CG is going black as we're reading this. Go. Spacey. We'll be reborn, it's okay. Unless this one's gonna hit you in the face and be like, nope. My daughter, Goemon, is still unbound by your threads. They're ready to cut you to pieces. You reunited and shared your love once again, yet fear and hesitation were still present. Fear's a part of being human. Your souls are already fading away. Without intervention, you'll both disappear. My daughter, I made a promise to you. I would give you a soul preservation certificate, but only if you apprehended the escapees. My daughter, you tried your hardest. You loved this man the very best you could, all while attempting to protect humanity. Daddy's been watching your life through the Johari mirror all this time. I've decided to give you one last parting gift. Don't give me a soul preservation certificate and make me stay without Goemon. Let me die, let him die, let us be reunited. Through Daddy's authority, he'll force both you and Goemon into Mame. Perfect, that's what we want. Before your souls shatter completely. Until we meet again, live healthily and happily. It's not his voice, but I feel like he's always been kind of goofy, but this is not the time for that, you know? And when the time comes, and Daddy would be so delighted if you became his daughter again. Oh! Until then, I'll take good care of Tama. That's so sad and sweet. Nope. And now it's going to be, yes, new extra stage. We are not ready to start. I'm going to crank up the volume really loudly. Okay. That should be super motherfucking loud. So we can hear the voice, because we know he's going to talk. I'm going to crank up my own. Extra stage.
今度もまたダメなのか。だが俺は絶対に諦めない。もし俺たちが幸せになれない運命だというなら、それを変えてやる。待っていてくれ。またお前を必ず探し出す。それがダメなら、また探す。しつこい男だと笑ってもいい。それでも俺はあんたを愛しているんだ。
That's extremely loud. Okay, I gotta turn this back down. There we go. Wow. Okay. Anyway. So what's fun about this, we'll get through the voice acting later, but like Goemon is Raoul from Cupid Parasite, which we're now playing in tandem with this. And then when this is done, the whole point is the filler game is so that we can get back to playing the Verce fan disc, and he's a Dolphin Verce. So like he's never really gonna leave us. See, this game is like, they never really leave us, do they, our boyfriends? Because they're always in some other game, voicing some other character. Anyway, it's been 20 years since Goemon and our Lord Hellguardian disappeared. Time flies. It's been that long already? Well, I guess if you consider life in hell, 20 years goes quick. 20 years is nothing compared to all the time I've spent unable to die. Do any of you have any good feelings about today? I mean, Tom is here visiting after all. Well, you feel that too, Lord Pochi Meow? I've actually been restless since last night, because we saw the gates to Hell Mansion, so like, are they all gonna go to Hell Mansion, and then we're gonna be there, and they're gonna be like, you guys, and we're like, who? And then like, do you think we know, like, Goemon's new self? Oh my god, it's gonna be so cute. I just couldn't keep still, and I asked the Lord if I could come out to visit, Meow. Oh my god, I love this. It's not just Goemon and I finding each other. It's everybody else, like, finding us. Huh. I feel like I've been to this shop before, even though it's my first time in Asakusa. The gates of hell are weirdly nostalgic. I wonder what's going on with me today. Well, although... Oh, right, okay, we do get another CG here. Because I noticed it said the bad ending unlocks the CG, which we saw, but then I was like, don't we usually get the CG in here? But yes, the extra stage unlocks another one. Okay, right. Yeah, okay, anyway, so I read that, right? The gates of hell are weirdly nostalgic. I wonder what's going on with me today. We're gonna meet a certain high school boy. Yeah, huh. There's merch of me here? Yeah, that can't be me. What am I thinking? Since when did I become Goemon Ishikawa? But why am I feeling so nostalgic? It's so funny, it's like, why do they have merch of me? Why did I all of a sudden assume I like... Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I love it. Obviously, it's so we know, but like, it's kind of cool, you know? No, the winter daphnes are starting to bloom. This scent always means springtime to me. Huh? No. This scent. Of course you do. The winter daphnes, wisteria, and cherry blossoms all bloom every year. That's not what I'm talking about. It's a scent of someone I know. Huh? And don't tell me it's another escapee, okay? If this is the good thing you were talking about, then I'm gonna have a fit. No! I know this scent! I'm so excited, I love this. Oh, look, we look exactly like ourselves! Sorry, but have we met somewhere? Your face looks so familiar. I love how they just meet each other and just know. Like, even though it's a bad end, because it's like, you've forgotten everything, but like, your souls find each other, and it's still kind of beautiful, even though it's supposed to be... I don't feel like it's a bad end. I feel like it's a not as good as the good ending. You know, there's the best ending, and then there's, you know, like, the B ending. Alternate ending. Because they're not bad. You know, like, yes, you die, and it is kind of sad if you think about it, but, like, because you're like, okay, take us and Goemon out of it, right? Right, like, the reconnecting part. We forget all of our friends, they're all left behind without us, that type of a thing. That's sad, but it's like, but that's the reality of when you actually die. You know what I mean? Like, you're gone. So, like, the thought, if you have to think about your impending death that is going to happen someday, you're like, that's sad. Think of all the think of all the Otome games you can't play, or like, you know, think of like your family and your friends and all the people that you're going to miss, or missing out on music and movies. And it's like, you're not really missing out on anything because you're not going to know what ever happened, right? But it's still just, that's how you think about things as a human being. You think of it in the sense of, man, think of all the things that I would miss out on if I weren't here anymore. You know, even though you know logically, like, when you're gone, unless you become a ghost, Like, you don't know anything. You cease to exist. You know what I mean? Your memories, who you are is gone. Right? And if you think about, like, oh, think about all the friends and the family that you leave behind, like, because you've obviously lost someone in your life, you know, and how painful that is. So if you think of it in that sense, like, think of all the people who might be upset when you're gone. You know what I mean? Hell, even if you've never, like, had anyone significantly close to you pass away, you've had friendships like, oh man, my best friend in elementary school, we stopped talking. Like, you've had those moments where those connections, those human connections have disappeared from you. You know what I mean? In some way, shape, or form. And that's always sad, you know? So I get where in this sense of things, it's a bad ending because we no longer exist technically. Spacey and Goemon no longer exist. So we can't be in love with each other, and our friends miss us, and we're missing out on all hanging out with everybody, right? But then they throw this in where it's like, here's you reborn, just some random girl. Here's him reborn, some random guy. And then you just meet and you just know. You're just connected. You just know each other. You just recognize. And it's so beautiful in like a kind of, I guess in a kind of painful way. You're like, oh, it's kind of sad, but it's still so beautiful. It's something beautiful in the midst of something that is, I guess, started out kind of tragic, but it turns out beautiful in the end. So it's not really a bad ending where every other game is like, then your lover was brutally murdered. And you're like, and now I just got to pine away without them. That's sad and awful. You know, they make these quote unquote bad endings really beautiful. I think except for poor Kikinosuke, he got the short end of the stick. Because in every other one, us and our love interest died and then we reconnected in our next life. And unfortunately, in the bad ending for Kikinosuke, he was left behind and he was still around knowing and remembering everything to find me and Azami after the fact. But I don't know how you really could have done that one differently unless me, Azami, and Kikinosuke all somehow died. Type of a thing. But, you know, I think for Kikinosuke, the part of his that's really pertinent is not just me and him reconnecting wherever. It's the fact that he was so bonded with his sister and he loved her so much and wanted to protect her that, you know, losing her was a huge thing. Because for everybody else, yeah, they may have connections, kind of friendly friends, but it's not family, it's different. So for Kikinosuke having that family bond, if the two of us died and were reborn, what about Azami? You know what I mean? And it's not as impactful of an ending, I guess, if Kikinosuke and I were reborn, connect, and then Azami sees him later and is like, oh, hey, bro, yeah, whatever. Because you're looking at the impact to Kikinosuke, not to her. And from in that respect, it would be more an impact to her, how she feels about the fact that, oh, you know, in the bad ending, she never got reconnected with her brother. But for Kikinosuke, it was like he lost the woman he loved and his sister, you know? His was actually probably the bad ending out of the bad endings because he got left behind and we're just like, okay, there's this guy from hell that's like, oh, okay, whatever. And it was kind of bittersweet. Like, okay, yeah, he found us again, but kind of left it questionable. Like, are we going to remember him? Is that, like, how's that going to work? These ones, it's like, I don't know that I'm Spacey. Goemon doesn't know he's Goemon. We don't know each other, but yet we know each other somehow. And that love and that bond we have, we're going to have it in this life too, even though we don't remember our past life. And that's beautiful. Kikinosuke kind of didn't really get that. You know what I mean? So like his was like a bittersweet ending where you're like, oh, but he found us again. But it's still kind of sad because we're not going to like kind of reconnect because we've been reborn and he knows our past, but we don't. And you know what I mean? So like, if they had done all of them kind of like that, one or the other dies or something, and like, then it would have been, I think, better. Not better. It would have been a better bad, quote unquote, bad ending. Because you're like, it's still, you could still have hope, but it's still a little sad and bittersweet. Where these, you're like, it's like a bad ending, but it's still so fucking beautiful and happy, and we're going to be in love, and it's okay. You know? Although our friends now are going to come rushing up and be like, oh my God, you guys! And we're going to be like, who? So this kind of almost ties back to Kikinosuke's route where you could go, well, we're going to fall in love with this strange high school boy. Cool. And then maybe because they kind of have a spark of memory, like she feels like, Spirit Belvedere's familiar. He's like, why am I thinking I'm Goemon Ishikawa? Weird. And then we're going to meet our friends and then maybe we'll kind of remember like Shinpei did. You know what I mean? Which is kind of sweet and kind of cute. So I kind of like that they're like doing that here. But anyway. Sorry, I'm not a creep. My name's Ishikawa. It's my first time here in Asakusa, and the fact that he was born into the Ishikawa family again, somehow born into a family of Ishikawas. I've never been here before, but everything feels so nostalgic somehow. And you feel the most nostalgic. I've been feeling the same way. It's the first time walking around this area, but I feel like I already know these streets. I've always liked Winter Daphne's, but today somehow I feel like I was called here. I'm sure I know you. I'm sorry, that was so weird of me to say. I feel the same. I don't care about flowers, but this one, every time I see it, something tugs at me in the back of my mind. Sharaku, can you pinch my cheeks? This is a dream, right? It's an illusion? Yeah, you didn't have to pinch him so hard. You're kidding, right? This was possible? They're watching our meeting. That's so adorable. No way. Did the Great King plan for this? Meow! 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 Like, poor fucking Tama. Goemon! My lady! Welcome back! Welcome back! Chief! Welcome back, meow! I didn't think they were going to say anything. I thought they were just going to watch and be like, alright, let him go. And then, nope. Oh, and so, is that the way it's going to end like that? That's actually kind of cute. They're like, oh, welcome back! And then we're like, and then we have to have the explanations. And it's been 20 years. Oh my god, though. What happened to fucking Shin? He's an old man now. Like, okay, he'd be like 35. Basically, in anime/otome terms, the man's dead. Sorry. But we all know how it goes. Oh my god, you're 25. You're so fucking old. And God forbid you go over the age of 30. You're basically decrepit. Every once in a while, we've gotten like the 40-year-old love interest, and they basically draw them like they're creepy, fucking old, and half dead. Like, I'm sorry. You know it. It's like, I bet, oh, they're dead. They're like the crypt keeper. And it's like, you know what? As someone who's over the age of 25, massively. Seriously, like, take offense to that. And I feel bad for anyone who's like 25 and basically being told by the universe and anime and whatnot that you are so fucking old. Oh my god, you're 25? Oh, grandma, how are you still kicking? Oh, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Now let's go back and play Verche, where they basically tell you at 23 you drop dead because you might as well be. Like, what the fuck? I feel like they knew what they were doing in that game, to be fair. I feel like they absolutely, when they did Verche Evermore, were like, nah, people already feel like they're old when they hit 25 now. Back in our day, it used to be 30, and now it's 25. We've had this conversation. And they were like, let's make it like in the game that you die when you're 23 because you're so motherfucking old. Like, so funny. Because you know the people who write these games are not in their 20s. You know they're probably in their like 30s to 40s, if not older than that. Okay, when I'm like, which is what I always love. It's my favorite thing. I'm going to get old on you. My old ass. I love it when kids are like, oh my god, people are like 30 game. And it's like, who the fuck do you think makes the games that you play? You do realize that the people making the games that you were playing are probably like 45 to 50 years old. You do realize that, right? They've been doing this for forever. Like, do Do you think when you go to pick up a game that a 17-year-old, because they didn't, that person who did it's probably pushing 50. Like, it's just always funny that, like, of course people in their 30s game. People in their 40s and 50s are making games. Hell, there's probably people who are still in their 60s like, I ain't retiring, I'm having a blast. I'm just saying. Like, some of the games we're probably playing, there are probably boomers on the edge of retirement that are like, one last time, we'll just make this game. You don't know. You know what I mean? So, of course, old people like me play games.
Lots of us old people play games because it's all the old people making the games.
You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Okay, so Goemon's route only unlocks after completing. We got that. I'm reading the notes. That ending, CG, extra stage gets another CG. The last CG can be obtained by going to Hari's Archive Memory Goemon 2. Okay. To unlock King Enma, you need to read Takamura first. The locked episodes in Hari's Archive gradually unlock as you read through all the playable ones. Okay, so that's what we figured. So that's in the library. Not the library. The memories, these ones. So we knew that. So it says gradually unlock, but I guess this one, King Enma's the only one that's locked. It's literally the only one that's locked. Everybody else is open. I thought that's what she meant by that, because, like, remember how these were all locked? And I was like, okay, though, like, you have to read certain ones. But no, that's not the case. The only one is that last is number 5, but we know that from reading the other ones. It's a good thing I kept a little note that on the left-hand panel we've read 2, 3, 4, and 5. Well, why is King Enma number 6 if I have to read Takamura first? Takamura should have been 6, and then King Enma should have been... It would have been easier, but I get what they're... King Enma's number 6 because he's more important than Takamura, and it goes in level of importance. But anyway, a good thing I wrote down 2, 3, 4, 5, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 8, so we know which ones we've read before. And then obviously... Anyway, we'll read the Goemon stuff, and then maybe we'll do the other ones in the next part. So anyway, completion CG can be obtained after locking all of Hari's Archive. Okay, so there is an unlocked, like, final game clear CG. That's what I thought. But that's fine. We'll watch after this, because we finished Goemon's route. We'll get a Goemon CG. Next part, we'll probably finish up all the other endings. So we'll do the Goemon ones, we'll do 1, and then we'll do 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll just finish up the Goemon specific ones. We'll come back in probably for another part and read the other ones, unless they're super all short. And then we can do... If we finish all of them, then I guess our last Goemon CG will be like the cute one of everyone together. I want to use that one, you know what I mean? But anyway, here you go. Memory document. Gonna have to start writing these down again. Anyway, hello, this is Goemon Ishikawa. I'm writing this memoir as I've been requested. However, it feels strange doing so at this point. Who knew that her desire would end up like that? Everything I wanted to hide was exposed. In what sort of world is there a man who wants to show others his own execution? And if what he said was true, maybe she really was at Sanjigawara. I don't intend to keep secrets, but maybe part of me was fine with not exposing what I felt. Not exposing what I felt out in the open. No, there definitely is. I was raised to just accept things as they were. Shinobi live in the shadows, after all. To have a concept of yourself is unnecessary. We hardly even need masks. We really just throw everything away behind us. And by the way, when I lived, the word ninja never existed. And that's just a word that stuck through the making of stories. The very first name given to us was villains. It's no joke, it's the truth. I think it was during the Nara period that they started calling those who opposed the nobles villains. I learned that some among them practiced Shugendo, and created organizations in the mountains. However, by that time, I'm sure they saw they would be defeated at some point. Needing to hide in the mountains already makes them outcasts. They threw away a life under the sun of their own volition. Members who had pride in their rebellious spirit initially said to rid yourself and serve your lord by the Azuchi period. And that was because they didn't have the strength to live where the sun shines. I hated how that atmosphere filled the village. And to be ordered to kill someone else, at the end of that, people can lose their parents or children. My adoptive father and instructor, Lord Momochi, must have understood I was angry. I knew because the ones who came after me after I left the village were all too weak. And to leave the village is one of the greatest offenses that you'll pay for with your life, but they just came to send a message. Eventually, even though I was named the next village chief, I would be exiled. It confused me, but I understood later. That maybe Lord Momochi himself understood that the end of the ninja was coming soon. Lord Oda and the retired agents, all of those who sought to stand in high ranks of society, all said the same thing. And to move on to a new world. And the present becomes the past and crumbles away. The ninja were connected to this fate the most. In that sense, Shiroku was the most kind. He didn't abandon the village to his last moments. His Kulikala? Yeah. His Kulikala Garuda and my Hooray for Life are really similar to each other. In the village, we were actually together all the time, too. We ate the same things and went through the same training. But I never told him that I would leave the village. If he knew about that, he would have wanted to join me. I also felt that I didn't want him to see me as the coward I was for running away. But it's too late to say that at this point. I do hate Shiroku, of course. I decided that I'd never forgive anyone who hurt her, no matter who it is. However, the one who pushed Shiroku so far was none other than myself. Okay, I get you're taking, because of the way you lived and the kind of mantras that you live behind in this village. You know what I mean? Like, it's really that thought process, because if you kind of take that out, like, I am my village and whatever. Okay, you are not responsible for his fucking actions. Don't blame yourself for his douchey actions. But you live by a code, and you breaking that code means someone else is going to come after you, and you know what I mean? It's like, when you join a cult, there's some crazy rules, and they tell you if you break these crazy rules and you leave the cult, we're going to stab all your friends. And then when you leave the cult and then a cult member has to stab all your friends, you're like, it's kind of my fault, because even though, hi, that's cray-cray, not, don't stab people, but you know what I mean. Like, it was just the way of the village. It was the doctrines that they lived on. You know what I mean? That thought process, like, you are here, you're one of us, you don't betray us, type of a thing. And it's like, we see that so many other times. It's not just them. Like, look at the mafia, look at cults. You know what I'm saying? So I understand where he's coming from in that respect, but it's also like, but in the modern world, I'm gonna need you to back it up, we do not take responsibility for someone else being a douchebag. Doesn't matter that you ran away, doesn't give him the right to stab and rape your girlfriend. Even back then, we're gonna modern lens, okay? Not cool. Not cool. But again, times were different, and it was the world you grew up in, and you kind of, like, quote-unquote, knew the consequences. But at the same time, you didn't run away with me and take me with you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just some girl you had a crush on, so what Shiroku chose to do was kind of cunty. Still, But anyway. Even now, I feel like I want to bury myself away for making her suffer. But I can never vanish and leave her behind again. Also, again, Shiroku was the one that made me suffer. I've waited for a while, but because of everything, I've reunited with Shinpei and gained some great friends along the way. It would have been so fun to see a 35-year-old Shin show up. As she and I have already died, we have plenty of time to spend together now. I'd like to go on dates to Hell Mansion, watch movies, and climb up the Hell Tree. And of course, I know that her father isn't going to just let us play around forever. The countless grains of sand along the shore might one day disappear, but the thieves of this world will not. Until the next predicament arises, I intend to enjoy being normal lovers. How sweet. How sweet of you. Okay, so that was all of our boyfriend things. We're going to do the Goemon stuff. We'll go across 1, 2, and then 1 through 5. So that we've taken up all the middle and all the right, and then we'll worry about the other number ones after the fact, and we'll see what happens. Like, if we're getting close, like, maybe I'll break it. I mean, I don't think it's going to take that long. They're never that long. Welcome to my headquarters. And come on, go ahead and relax on the sofa. It's full of Goemon goods here. Well, sure, I'm the greatest thief under the heavens. The great Goemon Ishikawa, you know? Wait, don't point out how they don't look like me. It can't be helped, since there aren't many who have seen the real me, after all. And to be honest, I actually like them because they don't look like me. I don't really want to see banners up with my actual face printed on them. That'd be weird, but also it's funny, because, like, you know, it's like you see that, and then you're like, look at you! Pretty boy over here look nothing like that. It's so funny when we get Otome games or anime or anything with, like, real historical people in it, because you're like, look at you, like, real person, normal person. Okay, they look like a normal person, whatever. And then you're like, and then look at you, pretty boy. Look at you all gorgeous and sexy and, like, pretty face over here. Talk about the beer goggles, you know what I mean? Oh, good lord. Oh, but I'm sure you like the goods your daddy makes of himself. You have so many of them. Well, let's leave the daddy talk alone. Whenever I come across any Goemon goods while walking around Asakusa, I feel heartless passing them by. How about I actually give you one of these dolls, huh? They'll become one of Tama's toys. Oh, sorry. How about I actually give you one of these dolls? Huh? They'll become one of Tama's toys. Yeah, cats do like stuff like this, huh? Is it a stuffy toy? Like a plushie? Like a Goemon plushie? Because my bird would love that. Well, I'd be a bit sad if you were showering a doll with me with your love anyway. And you've got to love the real thing, too. Hey, there's no need to be shy. We're basically like a married couple now. Yeah, minus the rings, but we've done all the other shit. I've made a decision to love you with everything I have from now on, to make up for how much I wasn't able to when we were alive. The incident's been taken care of now, so I'm sure you'll want to go on a date like any other young couple would nowadays, right? Sorry, I'm getting off topic here. Let's get this task the corporate slave is making us do out of the way. My birthday's March 31st, and I'm an Aries with a blood type A. My hobbies are... let me think. Folding ninja stars, maybe? To be honest, I can't really think of anything I can be proud of to call a hobby outright, like Kiku with his games. Collecting Goemon goods is a hobby, I guess. The teachings from my village about not exposing yourself are hard to shake off. You exposed yourself to me. I don't think that's what you meant, but I had to throw it in there. I might come off as arrogant when I say this, but I'm actually capable of doing a lot of different things. I can cook if asked, I can do carpentry, and I have a good amount of stamina. I think we learned that firsthand, sir. And good reflexes. I can get passing marks on anything. I feel like, yeah, like, it sounds like you're like, you sound like a douche when you're like, okay, I mean, I don't mean to brag about myself, but I'm pretty fucking awesome, as he flips his hair. But at the same time, it's like, you were, like, your ninja training would be to be able to do a lot of these things, because you had to, like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, it makes sense. It's not really tooting your own horn when it's like, I was trained to be able to be good at a multitude of things, so... But that's all because I was trained to be able to in my village. And I said that and I wasn't looking at the line despite the fact that it was in my face. Because, okay, yeah, basically. Okay. And I use those things to begin stealing. I have felt that I'll use anything and anyone I can if I needed to, and have felt miserable doing so. I came up with Daigoro when I met you to hide my identity, but perhaps also because I yearned to be someone else. I never imagined you'd have noticed that. Alright, so next up is my favorite soap. And that's a tough one, too. Shinobi are normally supposed to avoid anything with an odor. Recently I've been using a spearmint soap. The smell of mint is really refreshing, I love it. And let's find soap that smells like winter daphnes. I think I'll be able to distract myself with that on those lonely nights when you aren't there with me. That sounds inappropriate. Alright, next is Your favorite part of a woman's body? Well, that's obvious. All of them. But only the parts that belong to you. And don't look away. I'm being serious, all right? Your hair, your fingers, your back. I love all of them. If you act embarrassed like that, it makes me want to be all over you, even in the middle of the day. I'm gonna act extremely embarrassed so that you get up all over me, even in the middle of the day. Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. Stop. Oh my god, don't. I'm so innocent and virginal. Is it working? Are you gonna... Maybe that's why they act like this all the time. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why the Otome writers make them act all innocent and virginal and stupid half the time with the, oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. We've been married for 3 years, but like, oh my god, he looked at me and I'm all embarrassed. It's because it's like, I'm not really embarrassed, but I know if I say like, oh my god, I'm so embarrassed, he's gonna get all flustered and like throw me on the kitchen counters and just take me right here. You know? Then I'm behind it. I get it, but like, at least tell me the thought process. Don't make me pissed at the main character, you know what I mean? Oh, we're recording this, huh? Alright, that's enough for our job. I like how we just popped up and turned the camera off, and it's like, anyway, no more recording this, because we're about to get freaky. Hell yeah, sir. Oh, I love this man. So with that, all those parts of you... Will you let me love them again? Oh yeah, you got freaky, alright. Damn you, sir! Okay, I like it. He's been waiting for hundreds of years, so... He's got a lot of pent-upness, you know? The Asakusa Hell Mansion is closed for today. Thank you for coming. We await your next visit. Thank you for visiting us. We hope you'll come again. Please be careful on your way home. Please come visit us again. Guests left the park, one after the other. Great work again today. We've both gotten pretty used to working here, huh? Yeah, I think you can be a supervisor at this point, Goemon. Well, it's a good thing. The fact that we're able to help out here means that Asakusa's just that peaceful. Yeah, it really is. About half a month had passed since then. Thanks to Sensei Nono's hard work, Asakusa was completely back to normal. Oh, right. Did you go to Father to pick a fight with him? And that's still on hold. He did help out a lot with what happened. If possible, keep it on hold forever. Though it's true you were worked really hard. And that's not the issue, though. The old man was teasing me all this time about you. Huh? What do you mean by that? He told me that you're in Enma Palace, but no real details. He just said you were cute and that you hated men. I wanted to see you, of course, but at the same time, I was just as afraid to. Oh, could you imagine, like, Goemon's, like, pining away, and frickin' King Emma's like, hey, I got your girl, she's in my palace. You can't see her, though. She also hates men. Well, I mean, you know. I could see a twinge of pain in his eyes. I hated all men but you. And the rest of the man harem. You're gonna have to accept that I love them all, so. This was a burden both of us would carry. I feel bad excluding Kikinosuke. He's too adorable, but I do love him. He's precious and adorable. And he's staying with us. But he's gonna have to be in the friend wing. You know what I mean? Like, he's our bro. He's our buddy. We're not leaving him behind. But, like, you know. Like, we can cuddle. And play fetch and shit. I never wanted a dog, but like, whatever. I also don't like kids, and I keep adopting sassy lost children, so whatever. You know? I'm saying. Can't believe Father was doing all that behind my back. You know what's going to be funny, though, in the reality of this? So, like, okay, we're all here, we're all dead, we're hanging out. Shin's gonna move on, grow up, blah, 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 come back, and eventually probably die as an old man, and then be older than all of us, and we're gonna be like, huh, we watched you grow up, and he's like, you shut up, I'm like 92, bitch. Like, what happens if you're like 90 and you die and you go down? Do you stay like a 90-year-old, or do you like kind of revert to like, I'm like at least middle-aged somewhere, like the age of your soul? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what happens? Would Shin be like, this is the best moment in his life was like when he was like 15 years old here, so he's going to be a 15-year-old forever? Or is he going to be like, because like, it's going to get weird when you're 90 and you're like, I'm still in love with a Shami, and she's like 13. Kind of gross. You know what I mean? Like, unless like when he dies, he's like, I'm on my deathbed, I'll see you fuckers in hell, quite literally. And then he dies and he's like, hey guys, I'm back to being me. You know what I mean? Like, what's going to happen with that? I'm so curious. I don't know why I need to know. You know? I'm not sure the answer I would like. I don't think I actually, like, I want to know, but I also know that I can't know. Don't tell me. Because if they told me, like, oh no, he dies when he's in his 90s and then, like, whatever, and obviously everybody pretty much goes to hell at this point, right? Like, yeah, but then he's going to be like a 90-year-old man. That would just be kind of sad, you know? But, like, also, I don't know, would it be better, like, if you, because think about it, like, okay, so you die in your, like, 80s or 90s, right? And then, your spirit, when you're like, yeah, now I'm back in my spirit, and I'm like 16. I don't want to fucking be 16 when I die. You know what I mean? I don't think I want to spend eternity as, like, 90. That doesn't sound fun. Like, here's me, I'm just going out there, whatever. I'm already crotchety on the inside. I don't need my, like, action. You know what I mean? Like, but I also don't want to then, like, when you wake up in your dead body spirit form, be like, boop, boop, hey! Like, I don't want to be the age that I die at. Because, like, be old. But I also don't want to be 16. Is there, like, a happy medium? Can you be like, can I be, like, in my 30s, 40s, like, the middle-ish age thing? What's, like, 30s considered? Is that just, like, adult? And then when you start getting to a certain point in your 40s, if that's, like, middle-aged? But then, like, 60s is considered, like, you're fucking, like, old now. You're retirement age. You're a senior citizen. Like, like, I don't know if I want to be, I don't know, anyway, I don't know what we're talking about this, so anyway. But at some point, Shin's gonna come back like when we were reincarnated. He's like 35 fucking years old. He's in his mid-30s at that point. That man's got kids, probably. Whatever. And then it's like he's coming back and then he's gonna be like 35-year-old Shin and we're all like 20. He's like, does he get to pull the whippersnapper card on us? Like, Goemon's like, I have been existing in hell for 400 years old. And he's like, shut up, you 20-something-year-old. I'm 35, I outrank you. Like, that's fucking hilarious. That would be fun to see. I just want, like, I want a little fucking, like, moment like that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I also don't, because I just want Shin to stay his little teenage boy self for fucking eternity with his little baby face. Anyway. I can't believe Father was doing all that behind my back. I had an urge to reach out to his black hair, but before I could... Did Jodo really end its services? Sure happened fast. It seems like it did. A couple that seemed to be university students walked in our direction as they held hands. Okay. Oh, Mikako was the girl whose boyfriend... And Haruto was her boyfriend, right? From one of the other routes? Okay, yeah. Did it last even a month? But you were pretty hooked, weren't you, Haruto? I wouldn't say I was hooked, but it's just that my friends were all on it. Yeah, he was the one that got possessed, remember? We had to chuck him in the onsen. Was that in Sharuku's route? It was in Sharuku's route because he was selling the onsen water. He was selling Hellgirl bathwater. He was selling Hellboy bathwater is basically what it was. What, Bird? What are you freaking out about? You do it. It's not, that's just the nail. It's not the spooter. The spooter's long gone and he was microscopic. Anyway, but looking back on it now, it's funny to think that you could go to heaven with that. I know, but it just feels like something like that could work here in Asakusa. But, if possible, I'd like to be with you when we die, Haruto. Don't be ridiculous. I want the same, of course. Really? You won't go silly over another older woman again? I won't. I'm just not interested anymore. And actually, older women kind of seem scary to me. That's right, because we will rip you to shreds, boy. What? Did something happen? No, nothing. In any case, I'm yours alone, Mikako. Come on, let's go home. Yeah, I love you, Haruto. Oh, cute. Like, every couple in this game is kind of wholesome and adorable, even if they have fucked up times. But you know what I mean? They're all just, like, very much in love with each other. Okay, except for Kamuro. He's, like, in the bad boyfriend brigade. Wow. He's a bastard, non-bespectacled boyfriend. Okay? And not the good kind. Where we're like, yeah, you're a bastard and I love it. You're like, wow, you are a bastard. Wow, look at those two. Don't talk that way. I'm just glad that there doesn't seem to be any strange side effects from everyone who installed that app. I'd bet on the pride of the corporate slave that he'll take care of that. The only human that remembers everything that happened that night is Fujimori. Apparently he erased only enough of that manager's memories so that it wouldn't be a detriment to Jack. Hey, we never locked arms together like that couple just now, huh? She's thinking of the night and he's like, huh, look at what couples are doing over there. Modern couples. What are you talking about? And we've been made to help out here almost every day after everything's gone peaceful and haven't gone on any dates. Sure. And this time tonight, how about we go on one? And that ride's still running, so let's go. What? Wait! He pushed me along and eventually... How cute. We're going on the teacup ride, which is the boiling Goemon Alive Cauldron ride, so funny. Welcome to the Goemon Cauldron. Please be careful not to lean on the door. Do you actually like this ride a lot? It's nice how ridiculous it is. So how about you come a little closer to me? It's a fucking teacup ride. It's the best goddamn ride in the fucking... Do we have to have this conversation again? I will slap you stupid, Goemon, Jesus. I mean, it is ridiculous because it's cauldrons and you were boiled alive and that's a little fucked up, but it is Hell Mansion. But as far as the type of ride, i.e. teacup, best ride. I'd never kissed nor held you in my arms. Why am I remembering that now? Like on my lap? Please refrain from any dangerous behavior. Right. I was just so happy I get to ride this with you. This man can be so cheeky. Again, he's 400 years of pent-up wanting to fuck you, okay? We'd already kissed and even gone far beyond that, too. Oh, yeah, we've seen that multiple times. Being alone together after that is so embarrassing. You said you remembered everything about your previous life. Are you still in pain? I am on occasion, but it's nothing so bad as to try and run away from. I wasn't being stubborn. The scars haven't healed yet. I suddenly remember things at times and want to curse myself. But Goemon and all the others are with me. All my man harem. Then, can I ask something? He ran his fingers through his hair, looking embarrassed for some reason. You said before that you fell in love with me under the moonlight, right? Look at him blushing. It's so cute. Oh, so pretty. Look at how... She has got a goofy-ass look on her face, but look at how goddamn beautiful this man is. Get back here. Ugh. Oh. He is beautiful. You were really good at lying. I thought I was really good at reading people and what they were thinking, but I never thought we met like that. I know it's pretty late to talk about this, but that was also another side of me. It's true I hesitated to approach you, thinking you wouldn't want to be the wife to a thief, and I didn't want to be seen by you in that light. I told myself so many times that the world you lived in was so different from mine. Not anymore. So... I'm sorry I lie so much. I actually thought the same thing, that if I were to love you, you would be so unhappy. The large palm of his hand rubbed against my back. But all that time, I loved you. You saved me when I threw myself into the river, right? Even if I couldn't see you, I knew it was you. How? When you can't see, your other senses become sharper. You just sense the people around you and figure out what things are by their shape. Well, it might have been me just hoping it was you. Because you were Daigoro. As if trying to comfort me, reassure me, He rubbed my back over and over. I was happy you came to buy dango for me practically every day. You're clever. I was sure you realized I was in love with you. That's especially why I decided I would never tell you about how I fell for you in the moonlight, even if I died. If I did, I wouldn't be able to take it back anymore. Yeah, I did notice. If I didn't, I wouldn't have offered that hairpin. This man was terrible. His long fingers tangled themselves in my hair. He can be so mean. He knew that holding me and touching me like this would make me go crazy. And that's why I shut myself in front of the shock of you telling me you could never be my wife. That's why I shut myself in from the shock of you telling me you could never be... I read that weird, sorry. I thought I was just gonna die, unable to eat anything anymore, with Shinpei crying and worrying about me too. I'm sorry. Well, I know it's not something that can be written off with a mere apology, but... Oh, it stopped. We have to get off. That's what he's trying to do, get you both off, but not the ride. Aw, I love you. My lips were suddenly covered by his, and I found myself unable to stand up. I'm glad neither of us vanished. This time, become my wife. Goemon, I wished he'd considered where we were. But if we couldn't find any more guests around us, we were still at the park after closing. And yet, I thought I'd fallen in love with you first, so it's a bit annoying knowing you were in love with me for so long, and that you lied about it. His whispers and kisses were so sweet, despite his annoyance. I was already unable to move, as if to ensure that I couldn't, and as if to ensure that I couldn't, his hot, soft touch ravished me from within. Damn. So just let me tease you for a bit. This was a horrible form of torture. I should have expected no less from the most atrocious villain of the eternal hell. His tongue wandered, and his fingers traced my hair and back. He touched every single part of me, and I couldn't hold myself back any longer. This man is frisky as fuck. I mean, like, we had frisky moments with the other ones, like, once and maybe a little bit later, but, like, he just never stops, and I'm not complaining. A lot's happened, but I really am happy I was able to meet you. Me too. The mistakes, lies, pain, suffering, and sadness, I would bear it all with him, and I would live once more. Beautiful. And, like, okay, so I know technically I was going to try to read, like, all of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stories that Goemon's up, but we're not going to do that because we're already over time. But, so we're going to, that'll be perfect. Listen, I wanted to get another part anyway because I like the idea of it being, like, 80 parts. It's going to be great. So we'll finish up doing the memory stuff in, oh, wait. Well, technically, we're going to finish up doing the memory stuff, but we got Goemon's other ending, so we will check out our last CGs. So we'll check out our last CGs. Because technically, normally this would be the end and we would have finished everything and like whatever. But so we'll check out our last CGs. We'll get Goemon's, and we're going to get CGs now, end parts for the rest of this fucking game, which is only 2 more parts after this. Like, this one's adorable. Look, they gave him like slightly more baby face than he already has. He does kind of like, for, like, I want, like, he's in the borderline. Like, he almost has, like, he has sometimes moments where he has a little baby face because they gave him kind of sort of saucer eyes. Like, Kikinosuke is the baby-faced one, for sure. But it's funny because Goemon does have, like, slightly more saucer eyes than some of the other love interests, or, like, your main love interest. Like, you know what I mean? You're like, you kind of, they gave him the border where it's like, he's the kind of saucer-eyed sort of baby face that I could handle and it doesn't bother me. It's not like, you're so precious. Because there's moments where, like, obviously now, because he's supposed to be a high school boy, not, like, 20-something. But even still, like, look at him normally compared to everybody else. Like, he kind of still has, like, slightly, like, this one is fine. And this one, he's got sexy eyes. But most of them, he does, like, in a sprite, sometimes he will have, like, slightly rounder eyes. Like, it's just slight enough where it's like, look at his cute, precious little face, and then he gets his normal, and you're like, look at this sexy motherfucker. they did a good balance with him. So he's the kind that when they do like, if they did like sort of sauceride and wanted to make him look a little bit more sweet sometimes, I can handle that. You know what I mean? Is it just the same? Oh yeah, okay, so this one where she's like, okay, so it's just the 3 versions, and they just kept going back between this one and like this one where like she's blushed, but I love it. It's so cute. But anyway, so that was Goemon's route. Again, we still have to do some of the other after stories for all the other documents, and we have to do Goemon's 1 through 5, those little after clips and whatnot. We'll do those all in the next part. And then we will see, we'll use probably Goemon's end one with everybody together as one of our NCGs, and then our game completion after we do our voice acting in the part after. So 2 more parts, and then we are complete with this. Oh my god, it's been a ride. But anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.